if when he was nominated or sworn in under President Carmona, if he was not handpicked then by a president handpicked by the UNC, then in 2018 he was not handpicked by a president handpicked by the PNM. The opposition cannot pick and choose the parts of the truth that they want to stand by. Madam President, I thank you very much.
Senator Roberts.
Madam President, 682 cases of COVID-19, 21 citizens dead today. But we are here to debate a motion because a senator is toting feelings. We just had the Minister of Agriculture. He came out and made some statements going all across the globe and trying to correlate or interact or compare a debate and a request for debate with insurrection, violence, murder in the US Capitol. I can't believe what I heard from the Minister of Agriculture. He came and said that senators on this part before the Electoral College were asking him about security. I thought he's the Minister of Agriculture, not the Minister of National Security. What were they asking him for? Two cassava to walk in? For what? This is drama and nonsensical to the highest order by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. He said, and he quoted from Mays, and he said, slanderous statements and malicious statements and abusive statements are unparliamentary. Well, this was a novel case put forward by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. It seems that he is doing some law classes. He talked about constitutional law, and you would know that that's the first course you do when you start your LLB. But he presented not one quote, not one bit of evidence, not one statement from the Hansard which could be described as even unparliamentary, but started to talk about slanderous, wicked, malicious, and abusive statements, and not one example could he give in 30 minutes. Neither could the Honorable Senator Vera in 40 minutes piloting this motion. We did not hear. I asked them to please put on record one statement from the Electoral College, one statement recorded that could be considered unparliamentary. Even today in this debate, as 15 PNM senators sit there, they had to call one from downstairs to come and debate because of the weakness of the bench of the government here. And even the president had to pull that minister up for unparliamentary language. But not one word. Not one word from the Hansard. We heard terms, not one quote from Senator Vera. So, and then Senator Paul Richards would like to support the motion. He back, but then he wants to support the motion because we have to have a committee to determine what's unparliamentary. Well, the PNM and this independent bench would like to make certain words unparliamentary. Well, I scoured the Hansard, including the official Hansard and the crosstalk, and hear what's going to be unparliamentary that would cause insurrection of 1990 and the Capitol in the US where people died and so on. Undemocratic. The committee after this vote is going to go and say the word undemocratic is malicious and abusive. Please read the motion. We have not heard the motion. Madam Speaker, please read the motion. That's malicious, vindictive, vile, and unparliamentary according to this PNM and this independent senator's motion. Singing for supper. Singing, so there will be no more choir in Trinidad and Tobago, and supper, we won't eat. What is unparliamentary? Secret ballot? We should have a secret ballot, please, because we would like the independent senators to be able to vote their conscience without being put under pressure. That is totally unparliamentary. Let's call a committee together to vote and sanction these opposition senators. Oh my goodness, they are so terrible. Let's get them out of here. Trinidad Suite, unconstitutional, shame, illegal guidelines. These are some of the phrases that were used in the Electoral College. Not one word, not one unparliamentary word, not one bit of evidence produced by an independent senator who's supposed to be an outstanding lawyer. Senator Paul Richards is a media practitioner, a very good one, and he's been there for decades. But he came here to suggest to the Parliament, to the Senate, and to the population that he may have erred by speaking to a reporter. But if you're an experienced media practitioner across Trinidad and Tobago, very qualified and so on, you would know that if there was a combative situation between two adversarial systems or parties in a political system that has been constitutionally created, and if you are the independent senator, that it's very easy for you to say, no comment, reporter. I'm not getting involved in that. That is PNM and UNC business. I stay out of it. But Senator Richards chose to speak, and he chose to attack, and Senator Vera chose to attack. And in his first 40 minutes, Senator Vera pretended that on the 23rd of October, 2 days after the Electoral College, that he was quoted extensively in the Express, attacking the opposition, attacking Kamala Persad-Bissessar, attacking his fellow colleagues, senators, attacking Jayanti Lakshmidhyal, attacking everyone. He just clearly forgot that. And any response to that came after his initial attack. And if he's an attorney, a learned one, he would know that self-defense is a defense. So if you pelt the first salvo and if you attack first, then you must prepare for a response. No one attacked you. No one abused you. No one was malicious. This motion is vacuous. The Minister of Energy and the Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Industries came here today. And I'm not so sure if he was supposed to debate, because he was clearly unprepared. And I do not believe that he would come here and on purpose mislead the House. But everybody would know that when the Electoral College or the joint sitting of Parliament was called, the parliamentarians duly elected, the lower house was called first, and the motion was read there. We, the upper house, did not have that opportunity. So for the Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs to come here and say that all of us were there when we were not, either he's confused, he's overworked, or he's tired, because he has many portfolios that some of the senators, like the Minister of Agriculture, could help him out, but they don't seem to have confidence in him, so they give one man everything. But furthermore, why was this motion here today read out? That's the practice. We all got it on email, but I listened carefully as the Honorable President read out the motion. But we had all received it. That is the procedure. So to come here and say that the opposition was malicious and wicked because they would have liked the motion to be read, as is the practice of this Parliament, is totally untoward and absolutely not on. I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Energy Affairs and Acting Attorney General for denouncing and distancing himself from us, the United National Congress. On this side, we want to thank him for that. Thank you, sir, because we on this side do not respect nor identify with at all any Johnny O'Halloran want to be. The Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs.
Senator Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
Roberts, I have to caution you at this stage. I would ask you please to withdraw that statement.
I withdraw, ma'am.
Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs and Acting Attorney General did these current senators appointed by the President a terrible injustice today by reminding the population of all the great independent senators who went before. Senator Paul Richards said that he would like, in an adversarial system for us to come together. But Senator Vera, that's your job. Senator Vera and Senator Richards, that's your job. The PNM and the UNC are in adversarial politics, debating, describing, changing policies and positions and so on. The independent bench, as independent individuals, are the ones to go above the fray, pick sense from nonsense, and come through and show the population what is good law, what is not. So when you jump to report and ask, a reporter is asked a question, ask you a question, and you don't say no comment because I know my job, I have a job to do, and I have no opinion on the PNM and UNC business. When you jump in and attack one side, you are not doing your job. So don't come here today and try to put the pain and the problems of the chaos created by the independent bench on the adversarial politics that exists, because the UNC senators, we are doing our job. The PNM ministers and senators, they are doing their job. And it is for the independent senators to do theirs and not jump in on one side and attack the others. As I listened to the confused ramblings of a politically bipolar senator, I wept, I shed a tear. It seemed that he was auditioning for a sitcom with Rudy in California. Let me tell the confused senator something clearly, because he may believe that he's a thespian.
Senator Roberts, please, your language is becoming very... It's insulting language that you're using about some senator in this chamber. And I will ask you, please, to desist from that.
Yes, ma'am, I will desist. But I can tell you that I was insulted today when Senator Vera pretended to act and claim to portray my method of speaking in a way that was derogatory. And I would tell the honorable senator, while I may be able to parlay in different forms and fashions, that my parents are attorneys, my two brothers are attorneys, one went to Oxford and Harvard, I can speak Queen's English or I could line with the doubles man. And for you to come in this Senate and pretend to berate me, mimic me, and mock me in some thespian play for drama was derogatory, disrespectful, and would not be tolerated. The most abusive, malicious, and intimidatory words, and that's taken straight from this motion, unparliamentary language uttered here today, exposed and delivered by Senator Vera here today in this motion, the most unparliamentary, abusive, strong, malicious language is actually typed up in this motion, as opposed to what purported to be put forward here by Senator Vera as some misconduct on the part of all UNC opposition senators. He could put not one word on record. He could put not one statement on record. He tried to dramatize and be dramatic with words that are normal, common parliamentary language. But these words here about malicious and abusive and threatening and intimidatory, what on this motion? This motion is more effusive, more derogatory, breaches the decorum of the House more than anything put forward here or proffered by the honorable senator. The honorable senator said that the authority must speak, and once the authority speaks, you must listen and sit there. And I looked at him very confused, because we sit in a place where people fought for us to be able to sit here, or in our various shades, our various religious beliefs, our various textures. And to sit there and say that the authority speaks, and what authority, suppose authority is incorrect. Remember, the authorities locked up Nelson Mandela for 27 years. Should all of Africa have stayed silent?
Senator Roberts, you are going down a path that I would ask you to right now, please stop and continue with your contribution, but take another path, okay?
Okay, President, but I'm responding directly to what Senator Vera said.
I know that, and I have allowed you a lot of leeway, but I'm asking you, please, and I don't have to spell it out, but you're going down a path that I am not going to. Thank you.
I'm guided. Traumatizing. We said that this, Senator Vera said it was traumatizing to hear the words democracy, secret ballot, please let us debate, vote, Read the motion, please, Madam Speaker. These words were traumatizing in the Electoral College or the joint sitting of Parliament for Senator Vera. But the issue that we were debating there deals with our situation out there with our population who's under threat of crime, criminality, spikes in murders, rapes, young ladies being murdered and put by the riverside, crime out of hand, a father being carjacked with his baby in his hands. And this is due to the fact that we have no commissioner of police. That was the issue that we were there for. And now you are traumatized just by some words.
I had ruled earlier in the proceedings, maybe you were out of the chamber at that time, but I had ruled earlier that any issues, we are dealing with what is in the motion and not outside of it, okay?
President, yes, I heard, but the motion deals with the Electoral College on Thursday, 21st, right there in the third whereas. That's what we're dealing with. Okay, but I'll move on because I have a lot and a little bit of time. Senator Vera said that he is friendly with the UNC, loves the UNC, gives the senators advice and so on. That reminded me of an elitist saying, I am not a racist because I have a black friend who comes to dinner once a month.
Senator Roberts, I am not going to caution you another time. I have asked you to not go down this path, but you are going down the path. Please stop, check yourself, and continue with your contribution.
Thank you, Madam President. This motion is vacuous, malicious, misplaced, mistimed, and misses the mark, and presents yet another clear example of the tyranny of the PNM majority, consisting of overt PNM and covert PNM, giving cowards confidence, creating political mob rule by promoting reciprocal praise and upliftment of the immoral, unethical, and undemocratic principles of the conflicted. However, the tenets of democracy allow for the bravery and the strength of the persecuted few to infuse an element of hope into the wider society, which will eventually manifest itself into a casting off of the shackles of mental, moral, and spiritual slavery engendered by relics of an elite caste system long dissolved. The very choice of bringing this motion against the UNC opposition.
Senator Roberts, no. Your language is intemperate. You are still going down the path that I advised you not to, and therefore you have some time left. Please, this is my final warning.
The very choice of bringing this motion against the UNC opposition so that the PNM and others can gang up on the UNC opposition illustrates the interminable lack of independence in this honorable Senate. Because Senator Vera would like the UNC to conform to his dictates, his perception of propriety, and his concept of decorum.
Senator Roberts, I had earlier made a ruling that this debate is not about Senator Vera. I had made that ruling earlier. You can respond to things that Senator Vera has said and in his presentation of his motion, but you are personalizing issues with Senator Vera, and I'm asking you not to do that, please.
This motion is misplaced, for we were in the Electoral College, or some defined it as a joint sitting of Parliament. We were not in the Senate, yet the Honorable Senator brings a motion to censure senators to a different place. My advice to him is to take his motion to some other place. Crosstalk was the main issue brought forward by Senator Vera here today. Crosstalk captured by the Hansard. Not one unparliamentary word could he quote, not one. But he never said that there was a problem with the muting of the mics, the thwarting of this democracy, and this motion
Senator Roberts, please, you are not going to now make a case for what happened in the Electoral College. You're not going to do that. You have, actually. You have questioned certain decisions, so I'll ask you to move on, please.
In this motion, Senator Vera says there's a duty to uphold the dignity and discipline and decorum of the Parliament. Who determines this dignity, discipline, and decorum? Certainly not you, Senator Vera. Wasn't this the Speaker's job? Is this motion an attack against the Speaker?
Madam President,
Discipline?
Madam President, I'm kindly asking you and this Senate, please, to consider Standing Order 53-2.
Continue, Senator Roberts, but just take my advice that I've given you before.
I am taken, thank you, Madam. And I just hold up, but I'm running out of time. This is Saturday's Express, October 23rd, 2021. An Express article in which the Honorable Senator was quoted very holistically, thoroughly, attacking not only the senators, the leaders of the opposition, the UNC. All of these highlighted are attacks on the United National Congress. No one attacked any independent senator. No one attacked Senator Vera. This is an attack. I can't go through all, but I will just read one for example, because the claim here is that our decorum and dignity and discipline. When you said, but what if you say that what do you say of Senator Jayanti Lakshmidhyal, who was an attorney in the very proceedings? They want to say that the members of the independent bench are conflicted because we were appointed by the president, the subject of the proceedings. But the leader of the opposition who brings the motion has screened and appointed each member of the opposition bench. This is so illogical. The UNC is here elected. Our bicameral system, we represent 309,000 votes. We are placed here by the leader of the opposition. You, sir, are chosen because you are outstanding by the president to look at issues, to hear arguments, and to come to independent positions. So to compare your position with the position of the government, PNM, or the UNC is a non-starter, and it means that you don't understand what the job is here. The attacks continued, and the Honorable Senator went on to say that we are double standard, and the opposition was shame on the opposition. This is more critical. This is more breach of the decorum and the dignity of this house than anything you've said here today. You haven't made one word that has sounded as what you have talked.
Senator
and you
Roberts,
said,
Senator Roberts, you know you are addressing me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You have made claims, sir, that the UNC senators attacked other senators and were malicious. No, sir. Asking for points of order, asking that principles of conflict of interest be addressed, asking that, as the Minister of Agriculture said, there are different interpretations of Section 33. Constitutional law is beautiful because it can be interpreted in different ways. How do we do that? We interpret, we debate, and then there are rulings. The idea that you decided to jump in and attack the opposition, to attack the opposition for arguing, trying to present a different opinion, a different analysis, asking for secret ballot, discussing conflict of interest. If I were a judge in a matter and my brother came before me, wouldn't I recuse myself? There is no pecuniary interest there, but it is my brother, and I love my brother, and therefore it would be inappropriate of me to take part. That is not an attack. That is a simple principle of good governance, propriety, decorum, and dignity. You claimed also, and I won't go into it, Madam President, but the claim when he was attacking the opposition was that there's only opinion and speculation. I just state for the record that there were clear statements on the issue made which presented a factual matrix to be debated. So your initial consideration was wrong. What we have had in this Parliament and in the Senate over the years have been great independent senators. Martin Daly, Israel Khan, Emil Crown, Ralph Maraj. These are not the independent senators. I stand corrected. I am saying now, on this point, that when you are I withdraw that, sorry. I'm saying to Senator Vera and others on the bench that the issues brought forward by the United National Congress were not just partisan ideals. Because we are the UNC, we are in adversarial politics with the PNM. Okay, that's fine, that's the system. However, the independent bench or the independent chairs, because they're not a bench, they're each individual outstanding human being and citizen, should represent and take information and present their opinion on the interpretation of facts. For Senator Vera to start this motion and to attack the UNC, coming to a conclusion that the entire original issue was one of just supposition and opinion, flies in the face of other independent people who are not attached to the UNC, such as Martin Daly, Israel Khan, Emil Crown, Ralph Maraj, Larry Lala, Om Lala, Dr. Kublal Singh, Justice Frank C. Prasad, 3 Express editorials, 2 Guardian editorials, David Abdullah, Philip Alexander, Jack Warner, Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, Ravi Balgogamin Maraj, Professor Selwyn Cujo, Winford James, and Vishnu Raghunath. All of these people believed that information is needed, that facts, that more of the high office holders should talk.
Senator Roberts, you have 5 more minutes. And Senator Roberts, I caution you that you're being irrelevant right now to the matter at hand. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, in Part C, whereas conduct calculated to obstruct, intimidate, or impede. This is quite strong language by Senator Vera, yet he puts not one iota of evidence forward. He stated facts, and the problem is, he said that we are attacking another colleague for saying singing for supper. What is singing for the supper? Singing for a supper is a colloquial way of talking about a conflict of interest. Conflict of interests are real, and they're defined. For example, I took the simplest definition from Wikipedia. A conflict of interest is a situation in which a person or an organization is involved in multiple interests, financial or otherwise, and serving one interest could involve working against another. An interest is a commitment, obligation, duty, or goal associated with a particular social role or practice. By definition, a conflict of interest occurs if within a particular context, an individual is subject to 2 coexisting interests that are in direct conflict with each other. The interests involved can be pecuniary or non-pecuniary. So when the opposition is bringing up issues of conflict of interest, sir, it is not a malicious, vindictive, abusive, intimidatory attack on anyone. It is simply a principle. And a principle brought forward, if you have a differing opinion, you should get up and speak, debate it, and let your voice be heard. But you seem to be happy that you did not have mics in the Electoral College. There were other things. I will skip out this, ma'am, because I think you will rule against me, even though it was in response to the mover of the motion. Senator, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture brought up a motion of privilege in which he was trying to alert the population that it involved Senator Roberts. Well, okay. But in this motion, whereas E, Senator Vera says that we, the opposition, imputed improper motives. Against whom? Really? When? How? Who? This was vacuous. This motion was frivolous. It was lazy, unresearched, and unsubstantiated. In the Hansard, Senator Vera debated, for example, a motion of privilege that was brought up by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture against UNC Senator Roberts, and I have it here. And in fact, this is not crosstalk, but this is actual Hansard. Yet I did not cry and put a motion and come to Senator Vera and come to the Senate to have him censured for imputing improper motives on my behalf. I suffer from asthma, always have. I'm been hospitalized and nearly died. 3 of my children have asthma. There was a meeting of the Privileges Committee.
Senator Roberts, you are seeking to refill for want of a better word, relitigate something that has finished. Please. So just, you have 1 minute.
Ma'am, but I'm not doing that. I'm responding to Senator Minister of Agriculture and dealing with Senator Vera, who is saying that the UNC imputed improper motives yet presented not one iota of evidence. But here, Senator Vera on Hansard was attacking a UNC senator, saying that he attempted to thwart the process by not coming and ridiculing my asthma, which was imputing improper motive on the record and could have been censured. But I would not cry, Senator Vera. I would not throw a hissy fit. I would not come here and try to play Pontius Pilate and attack an entire UNC bench. The mere fact that you brought this motion, you have done a disservice to all independent senators before, now, and in the future. We now have to consider a total revamp of this, because it is clear that there are now 24 PNM versus 6 UNC.
Senator Roberts. No, Senator Roberts, you will withdraw that last statement. No, Senator Roberts.
I withdraw, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Senator Dial Singh.